Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name's Chris, the channel's called Sydney Stoma. In this video today I'm going to be talking about why I use a convex bag over a traditional flat bag. So I'm going to go through the difference of what a convex bag is and a flat bag. Difference between my video and other videos that I've watched regarding convex bags and flat bags is I'm going to be showing you a full demonstration, and I've broken up some of the bags to show exactly what they do. So in this demonstration I'm going to be lifting up my shirt. I'm going to be taking off a stoma bag, so you are going to see a stoma. Bearing in mind the stoma is part of the intestine and it doesn't have a muscle on the end of it, so be prepared, poo could come out. Hopefully it won't, but just be warned, you are going to see a stoma, and there may be poo. I can't stop that, so just giving you fair warning in case that's not what you want to see. So as I mentioned, this video is about why I use a convex bag over a traditional flat bag, and I've got some on the side here that we're going to talk through, and I've broken some down, cut them up a little bit so you can see exactly how they work. So when I first had my stoma back in 2017, I was using these bags, and this is a flat bag. What I mean by flat is that this is the base plate here, and it's completely flat. Hole in the middle is where the stoma would go, that would stick over the stoma. These great bags, I'm knocking these bags, they worked for me for a little while until my stoma retracted slightly. And then once my stoma retracted slightly, the poo was going underneath the base plate and seeping out the side, so I was getting leaking. I persevered and put up with it for quite a long time before I started looking at other types of bags, and then came across convex bags. And since I've been using convex bags, it's very, very rare that I'll actually have any type of leaking. So I'm going to explain how a convex stops that leaking. It's known as pancaking when the poo comes out the sides. So yeah, I'll explain what a convex bag is and why I use them. So these are the convex bags that I'm currently using. They're made by Dansac. There's lots of other convex bags out on the market, but I find these ones work really well for me. So as you can see, the difference between this and the flat bag is this area here. You've got this nice convex shape, so it's not a completely flat bag compared to the Senso Mio bags. So as you can see, that's flat, and this one here has got the nice convex shape. What that convex shape does is when your stoma goes through that hole and the bag sticks to your skin, is this convex will put pressure around the skin, around the stoma, pushing it backwards, pushing the skin around the stoma backwards, forcing the stoma to come out further forward. But don't worry if that sounds a bit complicated or isn't making any sense, because I'm going to demonstrate that to you. So the way I'm going to demonstrate that to you is I've cut the bag off of here. So this is the base plate of a convex bag, and I've cut the bag off, as you can see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on over my stoma and show you exactly how this works. With all convex bags, well, I say all, everyone I've seen has, there might be some others that are different, they have these little clips. As you can see there's some little clips with little kind of holes in them there. And what will attach to those is a stoma belt, and I have one here. So this is a stoma belt, and this helps pull this even tighter onto the skin. So this would clip on. If I clip it on there, and that one goes on here, he says. So when that goes round your waist, that pulls these tighter. So it pulls that tight against your skin, which will in turn push that convex shape harder across your skin. Again, if that's not making much sense, it will do, because I'm going to demonstrate it for you. So as I said, I've cut the bag off there, and it'll make a lot more sense when you see this go onto my stoma and onto my skin. So I also cut out a flat based one as well, the one without the convex on it. I've taken the bag off that. Again, I'll demonstrate that to you, and it will show you exactly where my stoma used to sit when it used to almost poke through there, or just poke through there. And I'll show you why, oh, excuse me, why I had leaking problems with that. So I'm going to show you them, and I'm going to demonstrate it to you, which I don't think there's many other videos that fully demonstrate it. So again, convex base plate and the flat bag base plate. Again, bag's cut off, okay? So let's get into it. Let's have a look. Like I said, be warned, you are going to see my stoma. It is a piece of intestine, and it may poo. I can't stop that happening, so just be be aware that could happen. Okay, so let's get into it. So what do I need for that? So I need my adhesive spray remover. We need a black bag to put the bag I'm wearing on in the black bag. And I've got some wet wipes, and in this drawer should have some dry wipes as well. So let's have a look, let's get into it, and I'll show you exactly what I mean once I finish up this drawer. Okay, so I'm going to stand up, my face is going to be out of shot, but it's my stoma area that you need to look at. So if I take pegs, roll my shirt up, let's put a couple of pegs on just to make sure. So as you can see, I've got a convex bag on at the moment, and you can see the belt, and it does look quite tight, but it generally needs to be quite tight for it to pull on that bag, to pull it hard against the stoma. So it does look tight, this belt, but it isn't uncomfortable. I never know I've got this belt on, so we'll go through that. So this is the Dansac bag that I'm wearing now. This is one of these bags, as you can see. The only difference between this one and this one is on here I do have a vent. Now this vent I attach to these myself because it stops ballooning. Sometimes this bag can fill up with air and it's a bit of a nightmare to get the air out. You know, you've either got to change the bag, well, it's the only option you've got with a closed bag is you've got to change them. And if your bag's filling up with air quite often, you could be changing the bag an awful lot. So you can get these vents that you attach. If you look on my other videos, you'll see a whole video about these vents. So I'm not going to talk about those too much. So let's disconnect the belt, which is quite straightforward. I've got a couple of belts and from different companies. So the belt's off. Now we need our adhesive spray remover because we do need to remove this bag, obviously. So with spray remover, quite simple. Just spray little bits in and pull that off. Pop that in your little black bag. I do suffer with sore skin around my stoma. I do suffer with psoriasis. I have tried lots of different creams and barrier creams that you can get. That helps reduce it, and it does help reduce it, but I do suffer with psoriasis. So everywhere where there's a lot of heat, and bearing in mind you've got a base plate over there, it generates heat, and it does cause my skin to get upset. I'm quite used to it, it doesn't cause me any real issues. So let's just wipe off any residual spray adhesive. Let's just clean up Sydney stoma. So there you go, there's the stoma. And at the moment it is sticking out reasonably well. The reason it's sticking out reasonably well is because it has had that convex pushing over it. So it does push it and put pressure on it, which causes it to protrude a bit further. But if I left that for a little while, it would lower back down, it would sink back down. But if I move up closer, you can see it sticks out a bit, but not a huge amount. And when I put the flat base plate on it, you'll see. So as I said, these were the ones that I was using originally, and there's nothing wrong with these bags. These are good bags. Nice material, the Sensura Mio from Coloplast. They are nice. So here's the base plate of it that I've cut the bag off. So I'm just going to quickly stick this over so you can see. So now with that base plate over the top, as you can now see, the stoma is not protruding a great deal. So because the stoma is not protruding a great deal with these bags, what's happening, when the poo goes into the bag, this area here, the poo would find its way into there, and it would then go underneath the base plate and come out the sides here, known as pancaking. Now, if you look up pancaking in relation to stomas on YouTube, you'll see lots of videos about that. So as you can see, the stoma is not protruding very far from there, and that's why I was getting the pancaking, because the poo was going underneath. So let me take this one off, and I will then put on the convex base plate, and we'll start looking at the difference, and we will see how far out, when I use the convex, how far out that will now, the stoma will start to protrude. So remember that image, think about that one when I then start using the convex, And let's take this one off. This one should peel off quite quick because it's only been on there a second or two, or a few seconds. Okay, where's the convex one gone? There it is. Okay, so as it's got the convex base plate, if we have a look close up look, you can see the convex shape quite nicely when you cut the bag off, and there's a nice image where you can really see that convex shape. So that's going to go onto the skin that way, and that part, that nice raised convex part, will push hard in this area just around the stoma, causing it to force the stoma to stick out or protrude out further. So let's have a look, let's see how that goes. So pop that over. It's a bit harder to push this flat without the bag on it. It's not sticking particularly well because I'm rushing a little bit for some reason. But it's going to come off again in a minute. So now you can see the difference between the flat bag, how much more material there is. We've got this big plastic, almost plastic type cup. But already, without even putting the belt on, you can see that that stoma is sticking out a lot further than when I was using the flat bags. You can see that already. You can just, it just looks a lot more prominent, doesn't it? There's the side on view, a lot more prominent. So now, when it does decide to let poo through, it would go straight into the bag rather than hang around in this area like it would have done on the flat bags. So if we use the belt again, so if I grab the belt, and this will pull it out even further. So just clip that on, pull it round. There we go. So what's happening now is that belt, as you can see, is pulling hard on the plastic. So it's making that stoma stick out even further. It's as tight as this belt would go. Yeah, I think I could probably get it a bit tighter. Yeah, that is a lot tighter. But even it's very tight now. I can actually feel that bit of plastic from the belt on my skin, just above my hip. But as you can see now, that is pulling tight. You can just almost change the shape of this from a nice perfectly round shape to a little bit ovalish, where it's pulling in that direction. So it's pulling tight. So that's pulling this way, this side's pulling it that way, which is pulling that tight against my skin. It also helps the base plate stick as well, which is quite nice. It does keep the base plate in place, and it does keep that part of the base plate where my fingers are running now pulled tight and stuck to my skin quite nicely. So as you can see, that is sticking out a lot further than when we were using, which is now stuck to the bag, when we were using just the normal flat bags. You can clearly see the difference. If you just even if you rewind the video, you'll see the difference of how much more that's sticking out. So when the bag is over the top, the bag would normally be nicely over the top of that. It would just help the poo drop down into the bag rather than on the flat one. It was just staying around this area, and it would go underneath the plate, come out the sides, causing leakage, which nobody with a stoma wants poo leaking out of their stoma. So there you go. So that's a demonstration of the difference between a flat bag and a convex bag. You can clearly see the difference. I'm just going to give that a wipe because there is a tiny little bit of poo starting to come out of there. We don't need to look at poo, do we? I'm sure you don't want to see that. So yeah, there's the difference. Within that angle, you can really see it sticking out. You can really see how it's pushing in and changing the shape of my stomach. And the stoma is clearly visible and clearly protruding out of there. So before anything else decides to come out of there, let's get this off and get a proper bag on there. Yeah, that's stuck a lot tighter than the other one I had on there, that flat one, just because of how tight that belt was pulling it on. So I'm going to have to give it a bit of a spray to get that one off. Yeah, there we go. Let's give it another wipe. Try to just dab areas where you've had spray or where you've washed it. If you're new to having a stoma, just dab dry it rather than rub dry it. If you keep rubbing it, it upsets the skin, but like you see, my skin's quite upset anyway. My skin does get a little bit angry underneath that base plate. But like I say, it's something I'm used to. I have got creams and things that I use for it. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. I try a multitude of different ones. At the moment, it is particularly bad. I get psoriasis in other areas as well. I normally get it in the hot, sweaty type areas, so underneath my armpits. I generally get psoriasis under there. So I am quite used to it. This doesn't happen to everybody, so please, if you're new to having a stoma, or you're looking at having stoma surgery and you're looking at this thinking, oh my goodness, that's awful. Doesn't happen to everybody. It just does happen to me because I suffer with psoriasis. So I'm going to put the new bag on top, just in case things start to come out. I generally like to warm my bags up in my hand. It helps them stick, helps them take shape as well. This one hasn't got the little vent on it. I haven't put one on this one yet. Like I say, if you're interested in those vents, I did another video. Just click on my channel and you'll see a video. Right, let's get this one off. And when I put the bag on, I normally just rock my hands backwards and forwards, helping it seal and fit the shape of my stomach. And then I just run my finger underneath, just pushing it outwards, getting rid of any little creases that are in the bag. If you're new to this, it's a good technique. If you're a seasoned pro with a stoma bag and you're just thinking about having a convex bag, then feel free to ignore me. Let's pop the belt on. I've always struggled to put the left one on. I don't know why. There we go. That's now on. Remove the pegs. Suck that back in. And there we go. Look, you barely know that there's a bag underneath there. Put those clips back down. So there you go. So yeah, that's why I use convex bags, is because my stoma doesn't protrude a huge amount, and I was getting pancaking, which was causing bags to leak, and no one with a stoma wants bags leaking. It can get a bit embarrassing, or it means, you know, you could have poo leaking out onto your clothes and you could be somewhere and it's difficult to find a toilet. So convex bags, that's changed stoma life for me. Don't get me wrong, I'm very happy that I've got a stoma. It saved my life, so I'm very grateful for my stoma. It gave me my life back. So I'm really grateful, and I hope this video helps. If you are looking at a convex bag, I hope it helps. I hope the demonstration helped. If there's anything you'd like to see or like to know, then please put a comment down below. Please like and subscribe if you like the videos. Like I say, I'm quite new to YouTube. I've said this on other videos. I'm not a big tech wizard. But yeah, I just like to put stuff out to help other people. So if there's anything you want to know or anything you need to know, anything you'd like to see a video on, then please put something in the comments. I made this video during the COVID-19 times, so I hope you're all staying well and staying safe. Remember, we're not stuck indoors, we're safe indoors, and wish you all the best for the future. If there's anything you need, then just ask and I'll answer your questions where I can. Once again, thank you very much for watching, and stay safe, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care, everyone.